Welcome to Key Trend Spot, your daily dose of what's hot, what's viral, and what's next. From K-pop to culture, we spot the trends so you don't miss a beat. It always starts quietly, doesn't it? The subtle glance exchanged beneath the stage lights, the almost invisible smile hidden behind a casual gesture, the touch that lingers just a second too long to be accidental. Taehyung and Jungkook don't speak in obvious declarations. They communicate in the stillness between words, in the glint of familiarity in their eyes. Over the years, the fans have become fluent in this silent language, decoding their connection like poetry written in pauses and gazes. During one particular performance, Jungkook stood just a little closer to Taehyung than he did to anyone else. The lights on stage were blinding, the roar of the crowd like waves crashing against the shore. And yet, in that crowded noise, there was a quiet space only they could occupy. A glance, a shared smile, and a soft bump of shoulders. An unspoken reminder that even amid chaos, they always find each other. Backstage footage caught Taehyung adjusting Jungkook's microphone. It was a brief moment, simple on the surface, but the way his fingers gently brushed Jungkook's jaw was different. Intimate, familiar. Jungkook turned to look at him, eyes soft, lips curling into a smile that seemed to carry years of trust and memories. It was the kind of look you give someone who has been there through every high and low, someone who holds pieces of your past and present all at once. They don't always need to speak. Sometimes, a glance from Jungkook across a crowded room is answered with the slightest smirk from Taehyung, like they're continuing a conversation only they can hear. The tilt of Jungkook's head when Taehyung laughs too hard, the way Taehyung watches Jungkook sing like he's rediscovering something sacred. These aren't coincidences. These are threads, quietly tying two hearts together. In an old interview, when asked who he confides in the most, Taehyung paused. His gaze drifted toward Jungkook for the briefest second before he answered, "Someone who always listens, without judgment." He didn't name names. He didn't have to. Sometimes the truth hides in the hesitation before an answer, in the direction of one's eyes, in the softening of one's voice. Vleaves are often where their connection shines most effortlessly. In one late-night stream, Jungkook played the guitar, while Taehyung hummed beside him. It felt like they had momentarily forgotten the thousands watching, like it was just the two of them, lost in a melody that belonged only to their shared silence. Their harmonies weren't just musical. They were emotional, bound by an invisible thread fans could feel even through a screen. And then, there are the protective gestures, the small shields they build around each other without thinking. Jungkook instinctively stepping in front of Taehyung when the crowd gets too close. Taehyung reaching out to steady Jungkook on a wet stage. These aren't rehearsed or choreographed. Their reflex is born from years of watching, caring, and protecting one another without asking. The infamous Paris trip is etched into the fandom's memory. They vanished from the public eye for days, only to post eerily similar photos within hours of each other. Same streets, same aesthetic, the same quiet aura. No captions, no explanations, just two souls wandering through the same city, telling a silent story through their cameras. Jungkook once said in a casual moment, "There's someone who knows my thoughts even when I don't speak." It passed quickly, like a breeze, but to those who listened closely, it wasn't just a poetic remark. It was a confession, wrapped in anonymity, and sealed with trust. Some didn't think much of it. Others knew exactly who he was referring to. On stage, there was a moment when Taehyung leaned in and whispered something into Jungkook's ear. Jungkook's reaction was immediate. His cheeks flushed, his laughter sudden and real, his hand pushing Taehyung playfully away. No one ever found out what was said, but whatever it was, it carved a memory that made its home in fans' hearts. In a fan meeting, Taehyung doodled a simple sketch, a bunny being hugged by a tiger. Fans gasped, theories flooded timelines, and the symbolism wasn't lost. Taehyung said nothing, only smiled like someone hiding a secret that everyone already half knew. Jungkook has a tattoo of a tiger lily on his arm. Some dismissed it as just a flower, but those who remembered that Taehyung's birth flower is the tiger, Lily knew it was more. Tattoos tell stories, some loud, some whispered, and some written for only one other person to understand. Even when duty separates them, when life pushes them into different corners, they find ways back to each other. During breaks in their military service, mysterious sightings, matching accessories, and shared songs rekindled the flame of speculation. It wasn't just fan theory. It felt like quiet rebellion against the inevitability of distance. In a documentary, Taehyung sat beside Jungkook as he struggled emotionally. He didn't speak much. He simply sat, solid and present, like an anchor in a storm. Jungkook's breathing slowed, his shoulders relaxed. Sometimes love isn't loud. Sometimes it's just sitting beside someone until the darkness fades. They behave like best friends on sugar highs, teasing, playing, giggling. But underneath the surface is something sturdier, a deep, soulful bond layered with loyalty, vulnerability, and a quiet kind of love that doesn't always need to be defined. Jungkook once said, "He understands parts of me no one else sees." Those words didn't feel romantic, yet they didn't feel platonic either. They felt sacred, like the kind of connection that grows not in sunlight, but in shared shadows. In award shows and public appearances, their eyes always find each other. It doesn't matter how many people are in the room. Amidst the chaos, there's a magnetic pull that draws them together, like stars orbiting the same gravity. Even those who don't ship Taekook have admitted there's something different when they're together. They just move differently, someone once said, and it's true. It's not about romance. It's about recognition, like two people who've known each other long before they met. Taehyung's expression softens in a very specific way when he looks at Jungkook. It's not for the camera. It's not exaggerated. It's the expression of someone who knows the storms the other has weathered and still chooses to smile. They test each other, tease until it borders on frustration. Yet in every challenge, there's a strange comfort. Jungkook once sighed, "He drives me crazy." But the laughter that followed carried affection, like he wouldn't want it any other way. When Taehyung injured his hand, Jungkook hovered nervously beside him. It wasn't just worry. It was something closer to panic, masked by concern. His eyes followed every movement. His hands trembled as he adjusted Taehyung's bandage. It was love, pure and undiluted. They've endured rumors, scrutiny, separation, the kind of pressure that breaks even the strongest bonds. And yet, they remain resilient, gentle, and quietly connected. Maybe they don't need to prove anything. Maybe surviving is proof enough. Taehyung once shared a late-night song on his story. Minutes later, Jungkook posted the same song. Fans laughed, cried, speculated. Maybe it was planned. Maybe it was telepathy. Maybe it was just the kind of alignment that happens when two souls are tuned to the same frequency. Even when surrounded by the entire group, they create a space of their own. They finish each other's thoughts, laugh in harmony, and radiate an energy that's hard to describe. It's not always big gestures. It's the subtle synchronicity. Love doesn't always need to be spoken sometimes. It's in a guitar string strummed gently while the other hums along. Sometimes it's in a lingering glance or the way they mirror each other's moods. It's in the small things, the shared silence, the calm. Taekook was never about fan service. It was never about public confessions or staged moments. It was always about that unshakable connection, raw, tender, true. Maybe that's what makes it feel so real, not because they say it, but because we feel it deeply, even when they don't say a word.
Which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear. You gon' die if you try. You just might.